very good morning. It's 10:25 on a Saturday morning here in Thailand, 5:25 in the morning Central European time, late on a Friday night if you're watching us in the United States. And I haven't even worked out if you're watching us in Australia or New Zealand what time it is for you, but you're very welcome. This is Mark James in the commentary box for proceedings here at the Chang International Circuit in Buriram, which is in central Thailand. It's the third time that the TCR International Series has been to this particular circuit. Some impressive facilities here, and we always get a warm welcome when we come to Thailand. The TCR Championship is coming along nicely. In theory, there are 165 points still up for grabs, and with the series leader only on 153, anyone could still win it. But of course, that is a theoretical situation. That is where we're racing. It's the Buriram International Circuit, the Chang Circuit, 4.5 kilometres, 12 corners, and you are looking down at the start-finish straight. There is turn 3, which is where James Nash had all sorts of problems last year. We'll be talking about that as the day goes on, but the facilities are very well air-conditioned, I'm pleased to say. Currently 31 degrees air temperature, the humidity in the high 70%. Thunderstorms have been forecast for the weekend. We had a storm here last night, not a great deal of rain, but a very spectacular lightning show as we were leaving the circuit last night. There is the reigning TCR International Series champion, the two-time champion, Stefano Camini, one of the five drivers currently topping the Drivers' Championship list. And really, realistically, it's down to those 5 now. As I say, theoretically, anybody could still win it, but you'd have to be extremely fortunate to come from way, way back and pick up maximum points in the final 6 races of the season to claw yourself up to the top of the tree. A couple of names that we won't be seeing again this year. For example, Grégoire Demoustier has decided to head away. And so his place at DG Sport Competition taken, you saw briefly there, by Munkong Satyen Tirakul, happily for me and the other commentators. Satyen Tirakul's nickname is Turbo. And we're also joined here in Buriram this weekend by 6 competitors in the TCR Thailand series. And you'll see that on the timing screens, their surnames, their family names are put up. But on the windscreens of the cars, as is a Thai tradition, it's actually their first names. So Rob Huff there in the Leopard Volkswagen. If it was one of the Thai cars, it would be H. Robert, if you see what I mean. Hopefully it'll all become clear as the session goes on. This is Free Practice 1. We've Free Practice 2 for you later on. And then this afternoon we've the usual 2-stage qualifying. Now, we've had an issue with one of the support series races a little earlier. Looking out from my commentary position, I was seeing a car being recovered, but there is already a warning going out on the timing screens that there is a slippery track between turns 9 and 10. Let's head down to the pit lane then. Let's talk to Elliot Poffett, who's the team manager at Leopard Racing.
I'm here with the manager of Leopard Racing with Elliot. Elliot, what's your strategy today?
Today it's going to be a bit tough because it's a long day. We have FP1, FP2 and Q1 and Q2 in the same day. So first of all, we need to take care of the basic and not make mistake. So we will see how it's going for FP1. We have a short time between FP1 and FP2, and then a bit more time for before quali. But yeah, the aim is to be ready for quali. So we will try to work hard in FP1, FP2.
All right. And is everything ready to go today? It looks like everybody's all pumped up.
Yes, everything is ready to go. We had to fix the car from Rob since Oschersleben. It was a bit of work, but we did it and everything is ready. So car ready. Should be okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, green flag. You'll have to forgive me, I didn't hear a word that Elliot said. And I should also comment that Alfredo Filippone not with us this weekend, and so doing the duties down in the pit lane on commentary, or on interview duties I should say, is one of our colleagues from Thailand, Letsiri Boonmi. And Letsiri, his nickname is Mark, which is handy. That's one I can't forget. He will be talking to our fastest driver from this first free practice session at the end of the next half an hour or so. So, first cars out on track then, and leading us away in the Honda Civic from the Mira Racing team, Attila Tashi scored that fantastic double victory at his home event in Hungary. And also with us this weekend, there is Tashi going through. There are two of the, big slide from one of the Lukoil Craft Bamboo Seats as they go around the hairpin at turn 3. And at Hungary, we had team boss Norbert Mikelic with us. And we don't have Roberto Colciago with us this weekend because Roberto injured his ribs, broke 3 ribs in the race at Oschersleben 8 weeks ago. And so the doctors have deemed it unwise for him to compete. Not so much because of the injury, but the risk of further damage if he gets involved in another incident here. And so the team wisely taking the view of the doctors. And so it's team boss Norbert Mikelic who replaces Robert Colciago in the Honda. And also switching across to the Mira Racing team, which was a bit of a surprise, is the young Italian driver Giacomo Altoe. He's run for all of the season so far in West Coast Racing in one of the Volkswagen Golfs. But Giacomo Altoe switches to the Honda Civic from Mira Racing. And the last time I saw that car last night, it was still white. So the colour scheme will be as much of a surprise to me as it is to you. Nick Clipson there in the centre of your screen. Senior engineer at Lukoil Craft Bamboo. And they had an absolute dream weekend here last year. Things didn't get off to the best of starts. James Nash, you may remember, had a big accident in free practice. The team worked through the night to rebuild the car, and it was far from 100% when it was finished, but it was good enough to get second place in race 1 behind his teammate, Pepe Oriola. And then in race 2, it was the fairy tale result for the team. James Nash, despite the bent car, which still wasn't sorted by race 2, went on to win the race. So 2 wins out of 2 for Lukoil Craft Bamboo here last year. But they are very philosophical this year about their chances of another victory. It's been a Seat clean sweep here in Thailand. 2015, it was Oriola and Stefano Camini, who was then driving for Target Competition in a Seat. And then last year, 2 wins for Lukoil Craft Bamboo. So in theory, it's a Seat track, but people aren't saying that this year. Sector 1, the long straights, down 2 and then back from turn 3, the hairpin should favour the Audi. And of course, the Honda has been very strong throughout. We've also not touched on success ballast. As we look at Frederick Vervish and the Come To You Audi. Success ballast for this weekend, Gianni Morbidelli, after his stunning weekend 8 weeks ago in Oschersleben, 5 points for pole position, 25 for each of the 2 races in which he won. And so again, Gianni Morbidelli taking the maximum 55 points away from a race meeting. Unsurprisingly, he comes to Thailand with 30 kilos, the maximum success ballast. And that, I think, is Satyan Tirakur in the DG Sport Competition Opel, or indeed is it Homola? No, it's Turbo, car 67, Satyan Tirakur, who is being recovered from the start-finish straight. So yellow flags currently being displayed, and you just saw there at the edge of the screen the green flag, which indicates the end of the yellow flag zone. Now there is Altoe. And just to make things interesting for me, and if you're playing along with the commentary game at home, in An extremely similar, if not identical, colour scheme to that of Norbert Mikelic. Other colour changes on the Lukoil Craft Bamboo cars. They all sport local beer sponsorship here in Thailand, and so you'll see that they're sporting different coloured roofs. Whoa, Vavish going extremely wide. Big runoffs here in Buriram. It is a Grade 1 circuit, which means it's certified right up to Formula 1 level. So massive runoff areas, and the runoff areas largely tarmac, sealed surface, although there are gravel traps here as well. And an indication of lap times. The lap record for a TCR car set by Gianni Morbidelli in 2015 with a 1 minute 43.423. We're about 2 seconds off that pace in this very early stage of free practice. Pepe Oriola quickest so far with a 1:45.476. Stefano Camini then second quickest with a 1:46.362 as Turbo is recovered. Homola goes second quickest, just as I say that, with a 1:45.599. Jean-Carl Venet, championship leader by just 2 points from Attila Tashi. Venet at the moment fourth quickest on a 1:46.479. Then it's James Nash, winner here last year, 1:46.904. Dan Lloyd, his teammate, carrying 20 kilos of success ballast after Oschersleben, 1:46.915. And then it's a slight gap to Frederick Vervisch, 1:48.046. So a second and a half or so at the moment separating the top six. We've not mentioned the Alfa Romeo so far. There is David Kajaya in the familiar red and white colour scheme of GE Force, in one of the two Alfa Romeo Giulietta TCR cars. Frederick Vervisch we're watching, green in sector 1, gold in sector 2. Vervisch currently P9. As he comes around turn 12 onto the start-finish straight, takes the timing beam there. And Vervisch goes P4, briefly P3, and then was bumped back down by Camini. So Oriola still quickest. He's broken the 1:45 lap time barrier. He's now on a 1:44.797, so he's improved. Mato Homola, a 1:45.599. Rob Huff goes P3, a 1:45.905. Then it's Camini, 1:45.991. Vervisch on a 1:46.105. Then Jean-Carl Venet, 1:46.479. Norbert Mikelic, 1:46.817. Then it's James Nash, 1:46.904. As Duncan Indy pops in a time just quicker than James Nash. Duncan Indy in the Icarus Racing Seat. P8 for Duncan, so if you're watching in the States, very late on a Friday night, your man is currently P8 on a 1:46.872. Still 2 seconds or so off the time set by Pepe Oriola, but it is extremely early in the weekend, and indeed we're only a third of the way through this first free practice session. Dan Lloyd currently rounding off the top 10 with a 1:46.915. There is Oriola with the white roof. I mentioned the different colour schemes on the cars. And I also mentioned the TCR Thailand competitors, Charia Nuya in the Billionaire Boys Racing Honda Civic, currently the best of the TCR Thailand competitors. And in fact, just as I say that, Ratanin Linutafong in the Yontrikit Racing Seat Leon has just gone P11. Norbert Mikelic goes second. So we're looking at car 59 at the moment. Norbert Mikelic, team boss of Mira Racing, World Championship competitor, of course, was rather surprised to be here because he was telling me yesterday he's got an event in Barcelona this weekend that he was intending to attend, and the call came up when it was clear that Roberto Colciago was wasn't well enough to take place because of the broken ribs. There is Mato Homola in the other DG Sport Competition Opel Astra. Homola, you'll remember, so cruelly denied of victory in Oschersleben, passed something like 2 corners from home on the final lap of race 2 by Gianni Morbidelli, who you can see there in the background, car 10. And Homola absolutely destroyed. But the car has pace, the car clearly has potential, and I think it's only a matter of time before the Opel Astra gets its first victory. So there is Rob Huff then. Currently 4th quickest, Rob Huff. Oriola in the pits. Norbert Mikelic, P2. Homola in the pits, P3. Rob Huff 4th. Dan Lloyd 5th. The top 5 now covered by just a whisker over a second. Aurelien Panis in the Honda Civic. The Boutsen Gignon car, the black and orange car, is into the top 10. He's P9 at the moment, as we're looking at Attila Tashi, second in the championship at the moment. Green in sectors 1 and 2. He heads up for the line. What can Tashi do? Currently 17th. And up to P8 goes the young Hungarian driver, 18 years of age. And you'll remember if you were with us for the 2 races at the Hungaroring. What an amazing weekend Tashi had. 18 years old on the Wednesday before the race, and then 2 race victories, and denied the clean sweep of 55 points just by his team boss going quicker in qualifying. So Kajaya, gold in both sectors 1 and 2 in the Alpha. He heads down to turn 12. Forgive me, he's in the S's. That's turn 10 and 11. Now heads down. There's the pit entry on the right of your screen, the different coloured rumble strips at the edge of the track. So around turn 12 now, onto the start-finish straight, a very early timing beam. There it is. David Kajaya crosses the line and goes P3 with a 1:45.431. So Kajaya, best of all in the first 2 sectors, and his best sector 3 time, but not quite enough. Something like 7/10 off the pace set by Pepe Oriola. Deep contemplation from Norbert Mikelic. Currently P4. So Oriola is still quickest, ahead of Rob Huff now with a 1:45.190 on his previous lap. There is Rob Huff, playing supporting role, of course, to Jean-Carl Venet. But if Venet, at the moment P11, if Huff is way ahead, then clearly there's nothing much he can do for his teammate, his colleague. So Huff crosses the line. Still P2, doesn't improve, 1:45.190. Kajaya then P3, Mikelic P4, Tashi P5, Homola has dropped from P3, I think it was, to P6. Homola now out of the pits. Duncan India mentioned a few minutes ago. He's now dropped to P13. Bonnet up on the Seat. And Kajaya still on a charge, look. Yet again quickest. We're looking at Dusan Borkovic. He's done his best sector times in 1 and 2. And when I said yesterday, did he think the track suited the Alpha, he kind of shrugged and said not really. So let's have a look. As James Nash has gone P3, Borkovic crosses the line, improves to P8. And David Kajaya goes P1. So quickest of all, after 3 best sector times, David Kajaya in the Alfa Romeo does a 1:44.584. So just over 2/10 quicker than Pepe Oriola. And if you're watching us in Georgia, very early on a Saturday morning, I know, but David Kajaya has got his weekend off to a great start. Quickest so far in this free practice 1 session. So it's now Kajaya from Oriola, from Huff, Nash, Mikelic, Tashi, Aurelien Panis 7th, Mato Homola 8th, Dusan Borkovic 9th now. as Tashi improves to third. And behind Borkovic, Dan Lloyd rounds off the top 10. Komini 11th, Vavish 12th, Vinay 13th. Then it's the first of the TCR Thailand competitors, Cherian Nuye. Then it's Duncan Indy. Then Ratanin Linutafong. And then the name that I was been practicing, and I'm probably going to get completely wrong, Natanid Liwatana Varagul, you see, in the number 96 car. Now Natanid is the first lady competitor that I can think of to win a TCR race. And she won at Banseng in the TCR Thailand category. She's in the Morin Racing Seat Leon and is currently P17. Natachak Hanjit Kasen 18th, Douglas Koo from Malaysia 19th, and Parasit Promsombat 20th. Giacomo Altoe down in P23 at the moment. Altoe having switched from West Coast to Mira Racing for this event. So still learning the car, not had a chance to run, I don't think, in the Honda, although he did test the Alfa Romeo the other day. So certainly getting around the cars is Giacomo Altoe. So times continuing to improve. Well, you see Kasuri there in the 21 car. That's Altoe's replacement at West Coast Racing. Kantadi Kasuri, currently leading TCR Asia and drives a Volkswagen Golf in the TCR Asia series as well. So clearly has the experience and is on home ground. Satyam Tirakul being pushed back into the garage as we're looking at Norbert Mikelic, currently P7. All three of the Lukoil Craft Bamboo cars as Mikelic just gets caught up in traffic, but goes P1. Norbert Mikelic in the Mira Racing Honda. Immediately beaten by James Nash, immediately beaten by Pepe Oriola. So they all cross the line and bang, bang, bang. It's back to the position we were in about 5 minutes ago. Pepe Oriola now quickest with a 1:44.374. James Nash, his teammate, a 1:44.513. Then it's Mikelic, 1:44.548. Then Kajaya, 1:44.584. Then it's Kasiri, who I was talking about a few moments ago, P5 with a 1:44.774. Then it's Homola, then Tashi, Huff, Dan Lloyd, and then it's Aurelien Panis in the Butsen Gignon Honda. About 11.5 minutes of this session to go, as Homola goes quickest in Sector 1 in the DG Sport Competition Opel. That's the view from turn 1. And we're looking at Natachak Hanjitkasen in the TBN MK IHEA Racing Team Honda Civic. Another one of the TCR Thailand competitors, 84, is Parasit Promsombat in the Seat. Ooh, Homola getting it right across the curbs. So best of all in Sector 1, his best Sector 2 time. Let's stick with Homola as he heads through Sector 3. There is a bit of clean air to Dan Lloyd ahead as Kantadi Kasiri improves to P3. Around turn 12 comes Homola, currently P6. No, indeed, he doesn't improve. A 1:44.752. Stays where he is at P6. Morbidelli now goes P9 in the other West Coast Racing Volkswagen. So it's as you were. Pepe Oriola leads from James Nash. Candidika Siri in the West Coast Racing Volkswagen P3, Norbert Mikelic in the pits P4, David Kajaya in the pits P5. Then it's Mato Homola, Jean Calvanet P7, Tashi 8, Rob Huff in the pits 9, Gianni Morbidelli now 10, and Daniel Lloyd in the Lukoil Craft Bamboo Seat Leon has dropped outside the top 10. There is Morbidelli. And I mentioned success ballast earlier on. You've got the slightly unusual situation here in Thailand of 4 cars carrying success ballast. Morbidelli is carrying 30 kilos. Dan Lloyd is carrying 20. Mato Homola carrying 10. There he is. But also carrying success ballast is Norbert Mikelic, because, of course, he did well. Second highest point scorer at his home round in Hungary, but we haven't seen him since. And so that means that the success ballast is carried over. Didn't appear in Germany, and indeed Homola dives into the pits. There is Oriola. And there is James Nash with a black roof on his car. And Kusiri is quickest with a 1:44.242, just over a tenth up on Oriola. So it would appear that the West Coast Racing decision to replace Giacomo Altoe with Candidika Suri was an inspired one. I will head down and have a chat to James Nash, the team manager, but they've struggled to get the car to work for much of the season. In Oschersleben, clearly, that was a revelation. Pole position for Gianni Morbidelli and then 2 race wins. And now here, on his home track, it has to be said, but Candidika Siri currently tops the timesheet in FP1. Less than 8 minutes remaining. And you see what I mean about first names and surnames from the TCR Thailand competitors. You saw briefly there Natachak Kanjitkasen in the pits. And it's Natachak H on the side of the door. Tashi we're looking at, he's gone quickest of all in Sector 1, then his best Sector 2 time. Currently Tashi is 8th quickest. Comes around turn 12, heads for the timing beam. Crosses it now. And stays where he is with a 1:44.779. So his best sectors in 2 and 3, best sector of all in 1. But on a bit of a charge as the team boss heads out. Car 59, the Honda Civic of Norbert Mikelic. As Comini is on a bit of a flyer. Sector 1 we thought would benefit the Audis because of the long straights. Down to turn 3 and then back from 3 down to the quick left-hander at 4 into the S's. But Comini quickest of all in Sector 1, then his best Sector 2 time. The 2 Audis head for the line as Comini crosses it and improves to P10. And Frederick Vervish running alongside or together with Stefano. Vervish still P16. There the team management from Yas, who build the Honda Civics in Italy. They've made the long journey to Thailand to keep an eye on, obviously, Mira Racing, which is where they are at the moment. But also their other customers who are running Honda Civics here this weekend. Altoe improving then, currently P23 still, coming to terms with the new Honda. And a brief flash of inspiration, it would appear, from David Kajaya, quickest of all in Sector 1 and then losing 4 tenths, 6 tenths in fact in Sector 2. So Altoe heads up for the line, crosses the beam and improves. No surprise there. Not as high as he'd like though. Goes from 23rd quickest to 16th. So still off the pace and still clearly coming to terms with the new car. But at the head of the timesheets, no change. Candidika Suri in the West Coast Racing Volkswagen still leads at the moment. I say leads, but of course tops the timesheets. This is only free practice. Rob Huff gets a warning for track limits, I'm told on my timing screen. So Kasiri still quickest so far from Oriola. As Kajaya, we see on the timing screens, gone gold in sectors 1 and 2 as Pepe Oriola heads back out. James Nash currently P3. Vernay P4. Mikelic 5. Kajaya 6, but on a charge. Now, did he get things a little bit scruffy through there? We're in turns 10 and 11. And there you see in the foreground the new pit entry that I mentioned earlier. So hard on the brakes for this right-hander, turn 12 onto the start-finish straight. What can Kajaya do? Currently in 6th. His teammate has just improved. Borkovic has just gone P9. No, indeed, Kajaya, frustratingly, even though gold in sectors 1 and 2, green in sector 3, Kajaya stays where he is in P6. Altoe still improving. Gold in sector 1, so coming to terms with that car. And then green in sectors 2 and 3. Altoe gets into the top 10, so P10 for Giacomo Altoe in his first session, let alone timed session, but the first time he's driven the Honda. Giacomo Altoe up to 10th. Kasiri is back out of the pits. Best lap time so far from Cantadi Kasiri, 1:44.242. Then it's Oriola, then Nash, then Jean-Carl Vernay. Vernay, in fact, into the pits now. Mikelic 5th, Kajaya 6th, Homola 7th, Tashi 8th, Borkovic 9th, then it's Altoe, then Rob Huff, then Comini, then Morbidelli, then Dan Lloyd, then Aurelien Panis, then it's Charia Nuya in the first of the TCR Thailand cars as Borkovic sets the quickest time in sector 1 and then blows it in sector 2. And the two Alphas running together. There is Kajaya, and judging by the reactions on social media between Borkovic and Kajaya, they are clearly the team with the most followers and the most vocal fans. And again, very good sector 1 time from Kajaya, just like his teammate. There is Rob Huff, currently 11th. Morbidelli improving, currently P13. And indeed, Morbidelli goes P9, so an improvement for the experienced Italian. I hesitate to use the word veteran. There's Nigel Clyde on the left, Rob Huff's engineer. Huff's best sector 2 time. Currently 13th quickest. Jean-Carl Vernay, his teammate, P4. And in terms of the Drivers' Championship, I know we still have 6 races to go, but all very tight at the top. 4 drivers covered by just 9 points. Jean-Carl Vernay leads with 153 points. Then it's Tashi 2 points behind. Colciago, not here, 8 points behind. Then it's Comini 9 behind. And then Oriola, a gap back to 5th place, 43 points down. But twice so far this season, we've had double race winners. Tashi did the double in Hungary. Morbidelli did the double last time out in Germany. And so Oriola, when we spoke to him yesterday for the preview, very positive, very happy. Altoe, just the time at the bottom of your screen there. Decent sectors 1 and 2, threw it away in sector 3. Dan Lloyd in the Lukoil Craft Bamboo Seat. Green in sectors 1 and 2. Dan Lloyd at the moment outside the top 10. Checkered flag falls. Gianni Morbidelli and James Nash have both taken the checkered flag. Vinay and Kajaya are in the pits. Oriola gold in sector 1. Mikulic takes the checkered flag, as does Panis, as does Lloyd. And again, Altoe storming through sector 1. So Giacomo Altoe slipped to P11 at the moment. I mean, you have to wonder. He walks away from West Coast Racing. And the car that he was in 8 weeks ago and has done the entire season so far, badly damaged, you'll recall, in that shunt in Oschersleben, and not completely sorted from what the team was telling me, but Cantadi Kassiri doesn't seem to have been bothered by it at all. Okay, he's on home ground, but Cantadi Kassiri, it would appear, is the quickest man so far, and that's unlikely to be bettered. Borkovic still out on track, hasn't taken the checkered flags. Neither has Attila Tashi, neither has Altoe. Borkovic has now, though. I think we have a run of checkered flags. There is Jean-Carl Venet as he walks back. Big smile as he takes his balaclava off. But no, indeed, things won't change in terms of position. And so, quickest in this first free practice session at the Chang International Circuit, Cantadi Kassiri in car number 19, the West Coast Racing Volkswagen Golf. James Nixon, team boss, will be delighted, I would have thought. That sends a clear signal. And Giacomo Altoe must be wondering, did he do the right thing? That car is now definitely starting to come right after that brilliant performance by Gianni Morbidelli in Germany, and Kassiri underlining that the car has bags of potential, and the team having to come to terms with setting the car up and working with it, and it's taken them a while, but it seems to be working now. So then, your top 10 at the end of this first free practice session then. Cantadi Kassiri, Pepe Oriola, James Nash, Dusan Borkovic, Jean-Carl Venet, Norbert Mikulic, David Kajaya, Matteo Homola, Attila Tashi, and Gianni Morbidelli in P10. Altoe, P11, Dan Lloyd, 12, Rob Huff, 13, Comini, 14th, Panis, 15th. Then it's Cheria Nuia, best of the TCR Thailand competitors, in P16. Then it's Vervish, Duncan Indy is P18, Parasit Promsombat P19, and then Ratanin Limutafong is P20. Now, slightly confusing matters is that the drivers are being given an extra chance to do a practice start at the end of both free practice 1 and free practice 2. And so now that they've all taken the checkered flag, they can do practice starts, which is exactly what's happening. And indeed, Kassiri has elected to do just a practice start at the exit to the pit lane. And there is confirmation that it's Cantadi Kassiri in the West Coast Racing Volkswagen Golf who is quickest in FP1, ahead of Oriola, Nash, Borkovic, Venet, Mikulic, Kajaya, Homola, Tashi, and Morbidelli. Very interesting start to the weekend. And there is Altoe, top of the second page of results. And you do wonder what's going on in that young Italian mind. Did he do the right thing? Did he jump ship? I'm not sure we'll find out the full story of what happened with that switch away from West Coast Racing. Maybe there was frustration that the results weren't there. Nakachak Hanjitkasen in the 86. Let's head back down to the pit lane then. Let's see, Ribunmi is with Jean-Carl Venet.
Amazing thing for Leopard team. We've got 5th position. What was your thought coming in for the shot?
Yeah, well, the track is pretty dirty right now. I mean, the first session of the weekend. So no, I mean, we had to bet some discs, some pads. So we had to take care about that first, and then just do a quick run to see where we are compared to the other guys. And no, it looks pretty good. I mean, we had really hot tires, and we are only 2/10 from the pole. So I think it's pretty positive. And no, we're looking forward to FP2, try to improve. And no, it's a good start of a weekend. So it's because of my brand new shoes. Already 2/10 in the pocket, so yeah. No, I hope so. No, we just have to continue like this and stay focused, work on our car, improve everything, and be ready for qualifying.
All right, good luck there.
Thank you.
Jean Carbonet, P5 in this first free practice session for him. And he seems happy enough with that. I suspect we're not going to get time to speak to our quickest driver in FP1, as Kusia is one of the drivers who's taken advantage of that opportunity to do a practice start at the pit lane exit. There's also a message on my timing screen that there's a car being recovered at turn 6. Now, I didn't see who that was. So then, that was free practice 1 from the Chang International Circuit at Buriram. We hope you enjoyed the action, and we're back on for the second free practice in about an hour and 20 minutes.